That's fine.
So
just whilst we're waiting, can I just welcome you all? We're making history here, not only on behalf of the Lancashire Sporting Memories Group at Chorley and Leyland, but on behalf of Sporting Memories nationally. They're very keen and interested in what we know now. It's been set up. So thanks very much to Darren. For those of you who don't know Darren, top left-hand corner, Darren is the chairman of the Chorley Football Club Community Foundation. His day job is to do exactly what he's doing here. That's to manage and set up and use all this digital and resources and all the rest of it. So thank you very much, Darren, for helping to make it happen.
Thanks, Darren. Cracking job.
thank you.
So, welcome. The plan is every Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock we're going to do this again. And the idea is to keep in contact and just update each other on how we're doing, any stories, any topics, any interests, and anything that we can share generally in the public domain. So welcome one and all, and it's great to see you. With regard to those members of our clubs who were not on email, we are trying to keep on by a regular weekly phone call, and we're going to actually, by arrangement, with Andrew,
One step backwards, that's it. Thank you.
You okay?
Oh, hello, Colin.
I've nearly finished. With the help of Andrew at the LFA, I'm not quite sure how we're going to do it practically, Andrew, but we'd like to run off some more copies of the Sporting Pink so we can post them out to our friends and guests. I know we did some last week, but we've got some more to do. But we'll talk through the practical printing arrangements tomorrow. So thank you very much. Welcome one and all. Now over to our host, the one and only Mr. Norman Prince.
Well, it's basically, I mean, I know we had with some of us, we had a run through to check the technical stuff and the general thing on Monday. But for those of you who's first time, yeah, it's basically a matter of conversation. We've said this before. I mean, we've got things like the general thing, we've got some specific.
It's gone past, let's go back again.
Hello, Ian.
Yeah, that's
Hello,
better.
Max.
We can all see each other, can't we?
Oh, it's Mike's today. Where's Margaret gone?
Hello, many things. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, hello, Ian.
Hi, Mike. Thanks, Jamie.
I noticed she's hogging the screen, but I won't mention anything about it. You got over there now. Right, I'll tell you what, rather than, you see, if we go through the questions on the pink, which we'll be sending out to Bennett, if we go on, you're going to have to scroll down to give all the answers. Now, you can do you want to do it that way, or do you just want me to ask 4 or 5 questions?
Ask 4 or 5.
4 or 5. See, last one in. She's organising us already, aren't you?
She's got the answer.
You haven't got these answers. Right, all right then. It's not the difficult. It's really to create conversation. Which Italian artist painted the Mona Lisa?
Michelangelo.
No. Leonardo da Vinci. It was Carol. It was. Has anybody ever been to see the Mona Lisa? Anybody ever been to the Louvre?
Yes, in the Louvre.
Yeah, John Kerr. Yeah.
Ian's been. John?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Mike's
I went, but I saw the queue. I didn't bother going in.
Didn't miss much, Roger.
No, there was a bar around the corner. We went there.
That's more like it.
So Ian, yeah, we've not heard from you, but so you actually, when did you go and see the Mona Lisa?
When did I go?
Oh, sorry, Roger. But yeah, go on, Roger.
About 20 years ago.
20 years
we
ago.
only queued up for a little while, and then we got a bit fed up. It was a sunny day. It was very hot, as it is today. Actually, we're blessed with the weather today, aren't we, everybody?
Beautiful,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gorgeous today.
Yeah, it is lovely.
Ian, can you hear me?
Yes.
Right. So, tell us now. You said you went to see the Mona Lisa.
Yep.
Yeah. How long ago?
Poof. It was, I think, 1988, something like that. I hadn't long been.
I can beat that with 1954.
Oh.
1954 you saw it, Neville.
54?
Yeah.
God, if you were, you know when it were being painted? It's supposed to be the most famous painting ever, and yet you are, and it's only a very small painting, I
It's
believe.
very small.
Isn't it?
Very small, yeah. Very small.
Did it?
Size isn't everything.
Say again.
Size isn't everything.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Ian.
Nice Ian.
Mags is saying nothing. Anyway. But yeah, next question. Which of the Beatles was the last one to join the group?
Ringo.
Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
Was Ringo Starr. Who did he take the place of?
Oh, gosh. What's it?
Richard Starkey, somebody Starkey.
Starkey, yeah.
No.
Best.
See your name, but we can't
Pete Best.
Pete Best it was, yeah.
Pete Best.
Starkey's Ringo's name. Richard Starkey.
Well, I sent you an email.
Yeah, so imagine what Pete Best must have been feeling like, what must he have felt like when they got rid of him, and then 20 years later, the Beatles exploded all over the world.
Yeah, there was a programme going on BBC Two, I think BBC Four, literally 2-3 months ago, and he was on, and he was very gracious. Actually, I thought he was superb.
Yeah.
And I think it was an old programme. It was a fairly recent one, and he was really gracious about it actually, because he was kind of kicked in the teeth almost, really, because he didn't quite have the personality, and they thought Ringo had the personality, and it was quite a. It was Epstein. It was Epstein's decision, I think.
Yeah.
But it was it'll be on the telly again. I'm sure it was the kind of thing that's on BBC Four on a Friday night. I don't know whether it was BBC Four. It doesn't really matter. It'll be out there in the ether somewhere. It's worth
Of course, he lost all the money with regard to the Beatles at their height. But in the latter few years, any music that was not recorded, and they suddenly found a tape in one of their old gigs that they done. They found a tape that they recorded in Hamburg. Because they wanted anything Beatles right. They actually put that out, and he made nearly £1 million out of it.
He mentioned that actually, Norman, on this thing I saw.
Because obviously he was in the band at the time, which is great. Well, next question. Who created the character of Peter Pan?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah. Who created the character of Peter Pan?
Oh, gosh.
J.M. Barrie.
That's it. J.M. Barrie.
J.M. Barrie.
Yeah, but you see these librarians, they read all the time, don't they?
They get temperance.
So, yeah.
Working from home, that's what I'm doing.
That's not what you do. Right. Which instrument? Oh, this is a good one for you of a certain age. Which instrument did jazz musician Benny Goodman principally play?
The clarinet.
Sorry.
Clarinet.
Yes, John's got it. What did you say, Max?
Ukulele.
You know, I get the feeling some people are not taking this quiz seriously. You know? It was a clarinet, of course.
They're laughing at me, Neville. They're laughing at me.
I tell you what I was doing. I was chatting with Keith about this. You know, we talk about what kind of quiz and where to set it. What I've done, I've got a music one, and it's 50s music. Looking around here, there's quite a few people who went to school around about the same time I did. You know, past 8:45 to 9.
Going out. Going out.
But you'll remember, even you'll remember these, Ian.
Go on.
I'll give you the line, and you tell me what the song was and who sang it. All right?
Yep.
When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what would I be?
Doris Day, Sarah.
Very good, Rog. My God.
Yeah.
You're
Lily Savage.
And it was Doris Day, wasn't it? Yeah.
Lily Savage as well.
Oh.
Not in the 50s.
I'm glad you're in a park, Wilson.
I'm in the garden.
Well, since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell.
It's Elvis.
Yeah, what was it?
Heartbreak Hotel.
It was Heartbreak
Oh,
Hotel.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
On the
corner of Lonely Street.
Yeah. On a day like today, we passed the time away.
Writing love letters in the sand, Pat Boone.
Yeah, who said that?
Rod, blimey, Roger.
Was that Roger?
It was, yeah.
It was, yeah. Who's this is a test fight. Who had the first hit with the song, Roger? a good
I don't know, sorry.
No, it was a singer called Ketty Lester.
No.
But it was Pat Boone who had the big hit with this over here.
Yeah.
This is a song I haven't heard for a long time, and you know why. On a day like, no, sorry, I love to go wandering along the mountain track.
Faldery, faldera.
That's it. I love to go wandering along the mountain track. As I go,
On my back.
Be turning off in the droves.
It's actually called The Happy Wanderer.
That's right.
And of course, being a Bolton fan, I haven't seen one of them for 5 years. Oh, this'll test one. Roger, are you ready?
Yeah, go on then.
One for testing for you, right? Born on a mountain top in Tennessee, greatest state in the land of the free.
Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. Sorry, Roger, beat you there.
Very good, John, yeah. Yeah.
Good, John.
Davy Crockett,
The
King of
greatest
the Wild
state in the
Frontier.
land of the free. Yeah.
Probably you had a television when you were young, John. That's what it was. You watched the pro.
Right.
And you, what? Too much TV, Roger.
That's it.
Too much TV, too much
Just do
North
one
End.
more.
Yeah.
Just do one more. I got no bags or baggage.
Oh, back, back.
Oh, I see. Keep rolling along, isn't it?
God.
I'll add a bit more. I got no bags or baggage to slow me down.
King of the road?
Nope.
Nope.
While I'm travelling so fast, my feet ain't touching
Traveling free.
No. I got no bags or baggage to slow.
Oh, I was just saying. That's how I go for you tonight.
Travelling fast, my feet ain't touching the ground. And then the title comes then.
Travelling light.
Correct. Who said travelling light?
Me.
Let's sing
Well done,
it.
Michael.
Sing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to sing it. That's the
Traveling
penalty.
light, I just have
Oh.
to be with my baby tonight, right? Isn't it?
Matron, it's happening again. The tablets are wearing off. Who was the Greek goddess of victory?
Nike.
Think sporting terms.
Nike.
The Greek goddess of victory.
Nike.
Nike.
Nike. Who said that?
I did. Never.
I did.
Neville. Oh, Neville.
Was it Neville who said it? Oh, sorry. I've lost it. Oh, you're up there, Neville.
Then he
Sorry.
got in.
Yes, it was
I
Nike.
got a lead from Delia who took Greek at A level, didn't
Say that again, Nev.
he? Delia actually got it because she took Greek at A level.
Oh,
Oh, you've got somebody there with to help you, have you?
Yeah. Cheating devil.
It's not. That's good, that. You might as well have to hidden out of the view, you see. Oh, she's
Oh,
here. So you took Greek, did you?
Yes.
Oh,
And
oh.
Latin and ancient history.
Oh, man, heck. And
Oh,
Neville's
my
take.
God.
And
Neville's,
what use has that ever been since?
Neville's used as Russian,
You
hasn't he?
questioned the quiz.
Right, oh, that's two. That's how it's been useful there. I went to a grammar school taught by Salesian fathers, you know, and we learnt Latin, of course, and the only thing I know is Nomine Partis Filio et Spiritus Sancti. That's all I know. Oh, and the other one is I can play dominoes better than you can. You know.
I bet you know more of it now than I do now.
So, I'm just looking at the time really, because we I don't know whether people said we'd go for about half an hour, but we'll carry on going. Is there anybody want to talk about any particular subject? Anything they want?
yeah, I'm meeting at 3 o'clock. I've made my own meeting on my own.
You're meeting at 3 o'clock?
Yeah, on my own on this. I don't know I've done it.
What
What
does
you
Steve
talk-
think about
Mark, what are you talking about, Margaret?
Margaret. Have you nobody else on the screen, Mags?
I've set up my own meeting at 3 o'clock on this.
With
Well,
who?
good luck to you. You're
I don't
late
know
for
I've done
it.
I don't know you.
I see.
Hello.
Again.
Anyway, anybody else who's sane?
That rules us all like that.
You know.
Janet's all right. Janet's sane.
What's our all right then, what's our general opinion about when football will start again?
Oh, not for
Oh,
long.
null and void.
Nay.
Yeah.
Long time.
No, that's cruel. That the thing that made me smile. Oh, Keith's waving. What are you waving for, Keith?
I want to speak.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
sorry, go on.
Okay, I'm just Darren. I'm trying to get David. His name's on. What does he need to do to come online? Can you talk? Can you let us know? I've got him
Just pass him my
on my phone as well.
Keith, just
Pass him what?
phone number. You can give me a call and I can sort it.
All right. Okay. Right. Carry on. Norman, can I just suggest? Can we just find out a little bit more about John Kay's friend and guest Roger today, with regard to an early sporting memory?
Good idea. Yeah. Thanks.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Thanks for that, Keith. Norman, hello to everybody.
David.
Yes.
Yeah, hello to everybody. I'll go back a long time. I know John from probably the late 50s, is it, John, when we used to sing together.
We used to be in St Andrew's Choir together.
That's right, in
Long
Ashford, long time ago. And then I moved away from the area to the Midlands, and then moved back to Penwitham about 30 odd years ago. And I think you lived on Kingsway then, didn't you, John?
That's right, yeah. We
And
quite
noticed
close
a
to
few times walking up and down the street. Anyway, enough about that. That's how John stopped me very nicely the other morning and said, do you fancy coming online and doing a bit? So I thought I'd give it a go. So my interest in sport, as John will know, is I'm a big North End fan. Sorry to all your Blackburn Rovers fans and City fans and all those people there. But I'm also heavily involved in Preston and Broad Green Hospital Radio, doing sports commentary. I started off doing commentaries at Preston North End, which I did for 20 odd years. But I've now given that up as it's very difficult to get up to row 39 of the Sir Tom Finney stand with all that equipment every other Saturday. So I'll give that to the younger people. But I still do cricket from Lancashire during the season, if we get a season this year. Lancashire very good.
Sorry, right. So who did you when you did the Preston commentator? Who did you broadcast to? What organisation was it?
Just to Preston and Chorley hospitals.
Hospital radio system.
Hospital radio, yeah. And now we do the cricket to Broad Green Hospital in Liverpool and to Preston Hospital as well. And also you were talking about the Grand National before when you showed the clip from that. Believe it or not, I've actually commentated on 4 Grand Nationals. 4 Grand National meetings.
I didn't know that, Roger. You kept that quiet.
yeah. But I didn't do, last year was the first year I hadn't done it for a while because either the horses were getting faster or I were getting slower. Because I found that I just couldn't keep up with them. When that flag goes up and there's 40 horses coming towards you. But it isn't all it seems when you're commentating from Aintree either, because you actually don't see the live horses.
Right.
There is a gigantic media centre which with about 200 people packed in, and all you do is see it on screen. Obviously, ITV or whoever has the television franchise during the year can go out on the course, and they do, obviously, but the rest of us, like most of the radios, we just get stuck in a media centre. And one of the downsides is, although the race only starts usually about, well, it used to be 3:15, but now it's sort of what time Sky want it on, or BBC, 5:20.
Yeah.
We used to have to be there for 8 o'clock in the morning. So you spend a lot of time twiddling your thumbs, really. But you could go later, but you wouldn't get a seat. So
Has anybody ever sat on a racehorse?
I've never sat on a racehorse. The nearest I've got to them is when we used to do meetings on a Wednesday afternoon from Haydock Park. And we had a free range there, really. Haydock, not as crowded as Aintree, obviously. And they used to give us a private box, very good of them. And we used to do the commentaries from there for Chorley in those days, hospital radio. And we used to go down to the Sadleian enclosure, that sort of thing. So that's about as near as I got to a horse.
I've actually sat on a racehorse. When we did our TV series, which was called Sit the Dern, the guy up in Morecambe, Jack Oh, I can't remember his surname now, but he trained a lot of national hunt horses, and he was a big leader. Yeah. And he named 2 horses because you have to name them on the 1st of January, don't you?
You
no
do
matter
indeed,
when they're born in the year, you have to. They go from the first. They're all the 1st of January. And he got 2. He named one Horton Weaver, and the other Sit Thee Down.
Oh right, that was good.
And
yeah.
when they as a publicity stunt on Morecambe Seafront on the promenade, they brought the horse, and I was the smallest, and I sat on the horse. And they said, smile. And when you think these go at 30 mile an hour and they're going over fences, that's oof. And he wanted to know if we'd buy shares in it, if we fancied shares in it. And we said, no, we weren't bothered. It won 6 races. And we thought, well, we'll buy shares in Sit Thee Down. And he said, I wouldn't do that because that's all it ever does. But that's great. The common. The first recording that we ever did with Horton Weaver was at Charlie Hospital Radio.
Oh, was it indeed? Yeah.
Kevin Williams. Remember Kevin Williams?
I don't remember him. No,
many years ago. That's what we did. He was a mate of mine. We did that.
Right.
So anybody else? But Andrews, you're always sitting there nice and quiet. I know you're watching everything as well as watching something else, but you're like a headmaster. You're just keeping your eye on everybody, aren't you, Andrew?
I'm just making sure that you stay in order, Norman. That's all.
That's it, right? Yeah, I know. I've seen you. So, what are your hobbies? What are your hobbies? Sports, whatever.
Yeah, massive. Share a little bit of personal story. Sport was a massive part of my life. I had an operation when I was 7 on my hip, and it didn't go the best. So kind of in and out of hospitals all the way up until kind of early teenage years. And sport was the bit that got us kind of back on the straight and narrow. So obviously accessed loads and loads of different sports, and I was really fortunate to meet some really influential people along that journey. So I've done, if you can probably name the sport, is the saying jack of all trades, master of none is probably a true reflection. I've been very fortunate to captain my county, vice captain of England within disabled cricket, played wheelchair basketball, wheelchair tennis.
Within you said table cricket?
No, within the actual game of cricket. So obviously, as you would out on a field with everyone else, I'm the only person to ever represent an England team playing in a wheelchair. Everyone else was kind of like either an amputee or learning disabilities. So it was a lot more difficult for me, but then maybe a little bit easier because I get to field a little bit closer, so I didn't have to do all the running around the boundaries like the other fielders. So yeah, I've been really fortunate to play a lot of sports at some quite high levels. Again, done wheelchair racing, shot puts, all that kind of stuff, and I've led myself into what I do, powerlifting at the moment, and obviously quite enjoy that, and do okay as well, which is always a good thing if you enjoy it and you're half decent at something as well.
Well, it's the old situation. If you enjoy something, you do it well, and if you do it well, you enjoy it. You know.
Norman, can I just chip in? When he says he does okay at powerlifting, can I just, Andrew, can you just tell us a little bit more about doing okay?
Go on, blow your own trumpet, Andrew. This is what it's all about.
He's a modest lad. Come on, Andrew. Go for it.
On,
I know how you are. You tell us all.
Tell us about your competitions, your achievements, and your medals and awards. Good on you. Go for it.
So the last year and a half, I've been very, very successful. My aim was to go to the Paralympic Games. Unfortunately, my disability didn't fit into the classification system to compete against people with disabilities. However, my coach at the time created a pathway for me to compete against people without disabilities, and I just do the bench press against people without disabilities. But the last year and a half, I've come away as British, European and world champion with a world record of 227.5 kilos, which is £500 for people that do old money. And yeah, obviously very, very, very honoured to be able to challenge people's thoughts and processes. When they see somebody in a wheelchair, you can still do exactly the same. It shouldn't hold you back. Yeah, I have limitations. I have things that make it a little bit more difficult, but don't we all in life? So you've just got to kind of crack on with it. You dealt the cards that you've got with. You can mope around, or you can just do what you can achieve whilst the time that you've got here. So that's what I'm doing.
Right. Hey.
Every credit, Andrew.
So
you can still show your appreciation and applause by on screen if you want.
Yeah, it's brilliant. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. So again, how long have you actually been in a wheelchair?
So I was in and out of hospital. I said operation when I was 7, obviously in and out of hospital. From the age of 13, that was when the doctors obviously said to us, look, you're going to need to use a wheelchair for the foreseeable future. They're always coming up with really good inventions. The NHS are obviously under massive scrutiny at the moment as far as the pandemic that we're in. I've not got a bad thing to say about the NHS. Yeah, the guy that operated on me unfortunately made a mistake, but they also save a heck of a lot of people's lives as well. So I've not got anything bad to say. You never know, they might come up with something that will help fix my leg or fix my condition. I've got a lot of squaddy mates exactly the same. Unfortunately, in a worse position with me, they haven't got the limbs more. So again, you've always just got to be mindful and be respectful of what you have got and use that.
Yeah, I applaud you there again, Andrew. It's easy for everybody else to turn around and say, you know, well, I'm getting bored with doing this and that. I mean, I always think that when I think, oh, I've got a back problem, it's affecting me golf, and then I'll suddenly think what's going on around us now with the current situation with the virus. But when you see people, again, in situations like you, and I was, we were very much involved with FAB, physically handicapped and able-bodied, and you see the people there and you think, why am I complaining? Stop complaining. And that's basically what we need to do, isn't it? Really, but that's so. 500. I was trying to work it out. £500. How many? I'm talking old school. How many stone is that?
I'm not too sure in stone.
Just let me work it out.
£14 to a stone, isn't there?
There is. Yeah, that's the difficulty I'm having working out.
Ken.
Whilst you're working it out, Norman.
Yeah.
Let me just give you a suggestion for then connect with Steve Elliott.
Yes. I think it's 35 stone.
Yeah, 35.7.
Roger.
Yeah.
35. So you can lift. You literally just bench press 35 stone.
Yeah, 35.7 stone.
Oh, forget the 0.7 pound.
It all makes a difference.
Let's not. All right, Whittaker, we'll give you the 35 stone.
Okay, I'll make it to 36 next time.
I think Keith's trying to give us a message. Go on, Keith.
Can you read it?
Yes, I can read. I want to speak. Have you put that on specially? Go on, you can speak.
Actually, oh, good. It's come from a fantastic lady called Dr. Wendy Mitchell, who does some fantastic social media stuff. And she's doing her very own online podcast tomorrow in the morning. I know some of us have heard her speak at a dementia event at Leyland South Ribble. And she's actually come up with this idea for participants. So next Wednesday, if you want to knock up a little sign that says that, then it's one way that we can just streamline it and make it a bit more user-friendly. So, I'm mindful of time. The last thing I want to suggest before we close off, we're okay at 4 minutes, is that Steve, today a post came out from Martin from the Sporting Memories Club at Preston, featuring you in a photograph with Alan Kelly Sr. when he took over as your manager at Deepdale. Yeah?
Yeah.
And it refers to when they were playing against Scunthorpe and a certain international cricketer stroke footballer, and the article in the Evening Post says you scored a hat-trick.
Correct.
Correct. So
Correct.
Bags will send it to you. It's a feature in the Evening Post, Sporting Memories, and it features that game, and Stevie gets a special mention with bagging 3 goals. Happy days.
Happy days. Yeah.
Well done, Stevie.
Well done, Stevie, lad. I believe he's still doing it with the walking football.
I can do it with anything.
Yeah, times 3.
The toilet roll.
It's 3 happening on a bad day.
Sorry, I missed that, Mags. What was it?
He's on the toilet roll challenge yet. No, he's not done it.
The toilet roll challenge.
Keep you uppy with a roll.
Keep you uppy with toilet rolls.
Yeah.
Something you practice, Janet. You know this very well. Is this something you practice?
No, I've seen it on Blackburn Rovers' Facebook page.
All right.
Yeah, it's on a few Facebook pages.
Keep it all right.
No one's gonna.
See, Andrew, 35 stones,
Doesn't do
nothing.
social media, so
Exactly, I can't do the toilet roll challenge. Yeah.
I can power lift toilet roll.
It's what? Sorry, Carol.
I can power lift out toilet roll.
Yeah, about 20.
Hey, with the amount that some people are collecting, that would be a job in itself, wouldn't it? So we're at the supermarkets with all these toilet rolls. And Ian Hall, who's chairman of Chorley Football Club, said we organised with the Rosemere Golfers Against Cancer, the charity golf days we do, and we had one penciled in for Chorley on whatever it was. And he said obviously it has to be cancelled because all golf courses are cancelled now. And the comment he put made me smile was the fact that, unfortunately, we'll try to rearrange it, he said, but the thing that really peeves me is the fact that the most valuable thing in the world at the moment is not gold or silver, but bloody toilet rolls. Because that's what everybody's coming out to markets with, you know. But still. So, Keith.
I'm mindful of time. Bill, welcome back. Hello.
Hello, Bill.
Gone to sleep.
Hello, Bill.
Yeah, sorry,
okay?
Keith. Pardon?
Bill, are you carrying on working because Andrew's here?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to look busy. Trying to look busy.
We thought we had an urgent call, you see. So.
Yeah.
Keith wants to speak. Go on.
Right. See, it works, doesn't it? So get yourself your own
on the screen. You just went
card next week.
Go on.
It's 3 o'clock. I trust you found it interesting, enjoyable as all. 1 or 2 people have been trying to get on, but we'll sort out the technical bit with the help of Darren.
Good. Well, yeah, thanks to everybody for participating as well and making the efforts. And, you know, it's so nice to be able to have this opportunity to speak, especially with the current situation as it is, because we're all getting frustrated. We're getting frustrated now, and it's not been a week for me, but Val and I are in one room, she's in another. It's worked for a week. It's going to work any longer than that. But seriously, thanks very much.
For me,
look after each other and stay safe. That's what we've got to do.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Look after it. Neville, it's great to see you. Thank you to Celia for connecting. And I think see Colin dancing around Dashley Park was absolutely brilliant. And it's made it very much. Want to know? Take care. See you next week.
Yeah. Take care,
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Thank you.